planning and zoning.
Debbie Murphy, planning and zoning.
No, up on your phone.
Nikki Oyen, Ward 1.
All present county clerk except for Nate Minnesota. We have enough to have
Forum.
forum. If we could all stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first on the agenda is the approval of minutes from September. Our 24th and 4th. Planning and zoning meeting. If I could get a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve both minutes.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes passed. Then we are moving on to new business. The Re-Plat request for 99 Warfield Ave.
It's just right in front of you, the paper copy of Tyler there, just showing locations of those minutes. There was a discrepancy before, but they were developing the two landowners and settle on the new location of the property.
So the original location was the dash line,
That made it right.
Yeah.
and then so you got moved back up to the center of the,
Yeah, just corrected it.
corrected it.
So somebody else did approve it too? I mean, the property.
Yeah, so we met with both of our surveyors. Yeah, they went through the proper surveyors and we just decided to split the difference there. And, the lot is laid out when I got it. They thought it was about, like 10 feet farther to the south. But when the survey came back, it was all to the north. However, properties to the north of it had already been surveyed, but not completely done correct. So they had to adjust, which I lost a little bit, a lot on the deal, but I'm fine with it because it's all for you. Okay.
So in reality, this is also replatting track 20 or 2A also,
Please, so,
okay?
well, yeah, because the line between,
Because it's right there, so. Everything looks good to me for no issues. If anybody else has any other questions? Can we get a motion to approve the replat?
Make a motion to approve the replat. Request of lot 2B.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? All those opposed? All right, it is passed.
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:36.
Can we hang on 1 second for that?
Oh, sorry, we're done.
Did we need to get that list
For the,
for the zoning stuff? Have you gone through and determined anything for,
the ordinance review.
need to get, we have to have that in by the,
It already went in.
We got
we got all that original stuff,
all the original, but if you want changes, we need to get all that in.
some, not all of them, but a idea of what we're looking to do, like, protecting the city with putting in actual restrictions, ordinances or whatever for drainage, erosion control for projects, whether it's a house or a building property or whatever, so that we have something to stand on besides what the state puts out. Then if we wanna put fines in for it, we gotta have, we just need everybody to make a list so we can get it to Lacey of things you wanna look at to address. Like you just said with the leaf thing, that's something that will go on the planning and zoning too, for you're required to get your leaves picked up. You just can't push them out on the city street and walk away from them, you know, because we don't really have anything in our books that's specialized in anything of the sort.
So this is a good time to think about all the time somebody says something to you, you know, and it says like, hey, what about this or what about that, or, you know, I'm on a fence or that kind of thing. And so bring that to the table so we can all discuss it as a group.
And we just need to make a list. I mean, it doesn't have to be 3 pages long. It's just some ideas and things you want to look at, because then once we get back to them, then we'll get scheduled a meeting with CCOG. And then we can go over what we got. Like when there's discrepancies between the subdivision regulations and the planning and zoning deal, where one says you gotta have minimum 100-foot lot, the other one says an area, you know, so that we can get things
There's
on the
also
same
right,
path.
other things to consider is, do we want to continue with the tree board? And that's a huge section of the ordinance. Do we want a tree board? Do we not want a tree board? If we want a tree board, what does that look like? Or do we not need a tree board anymore and we just rule that underneath?
Planning and zoning or.
And so there's just some things that are really, there was also, definitions of nuisances that I know will come up. There's also, how they want to look at snowmobiles. I don't know if that's ordinances, so that's not, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit different, yeah.
So that's not necessarily in your purview, but they're looking at everything. So, I mean,
They are.
if you go to our ordinance section, it's really not that tough of a read. It's really not. And so you just kind of go through it and you're like, well, this makes sense, or that probably doesn't apply, or, you know, if you've had neighbors that have had issues with setbacks and things like that, you know, I know there's things I feel about a cul-de-sac because I live in it, so there's just things that you want to think about because now's the time to do it.
Yeah, you could resend it like the mask of like Sid Crooks and all of them, or something about the other, what they had for some other.
And we'll look at that too with the meeting with CCOG. But like that was saying, most of this stuff that we need to do right now is looking at what we got to where people say, hey, why are we doing this? You know, like the concrete on your property, you know. We require X amount of distance between the property line and concrete pad. Sioux Falls requires you to have X amount, you know, it's just Baltic requires this, Bell Rapids requires this, you know. I know we've had that question come up more times than not with approvals for that stuff, you know. So it's just things like that, that we can put in the book that helps prevent us from having to have, adjustment meetings for things that could very easily be avoided just by clearing up our books that we have.
Another great thing is during meetings and boulevards. Right now, we defer to a state ordinance. If we have a local ordinance, then it's managed, you know.
So there's just things like that, that if we could all just take and get a page with half a dozen things that stand out to you, so we have a place to start when we're looking at it.
It's your friend. Ask for names.
Yeah.
If there's anything we'll do.
So,
Is this something that was sent to me or is it something that I have to go look up?
It's a matter of looking at the ordinances on the website, because it's not really a prepared document. It would be really arduous to print out all of our ordinances, because we had to do a paper copy for CCOG. But if you go into the city website under ordinances, you can like kind of see the different, and if there's a particular area of interest to you, take a look at it. Like I said, the language is pretty simple. So you can say, does that make sense to me? Is that outdated? You know, maybe I don't like that. Maybe we're missing something, you know, that kind of thing. It's pretty simple, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to have an offline conversation with you, and I'm sure Ed is too. He's pretty well versed.
So when should we have this done?
probably within the next week or two.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Because
right,
they're in the preliminary works. We just gave them a stack paper about this thing.
yeah, right now he just said that he's gonna start working on all those, going through everything I sent him, all the ones that are already in the books.
Yep.
And if we could gather all that other stuff that we wanna change, add, remove.
Maybe
Whatever.
before Thanksgiving is a good idea.
That'd probably be pretty safe to say, because it'll take a couple, 3 weeks.
Yeah,
to-
we've been kind of talking about this for a while. So I mean, if you have an idea, it's probably already in your head. And if you don't, then
Yeah,
maybe there's not.
I just wanted to bring it up before we adjourn the meeting, so,
No, that makes perfect sense.
all right, now that should be it, if we can get motion fees.
Make a motion to adjourn at 6:43.
I'll
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And perform. Sign.
Before you leave,